3, 2, 1.
7 things you probably didn't know you need to know. I'm Jamie East and this is the Smart 7.
Good morning, it's Friday the 19th of June and happy Juneteenth to our American friends. And a big happy birthday to Kathleen Turner, Paula Abdul, Zoe Saldana and I suppose Boris Johnson.
7.
Coronavirus continues its spread with 8.5 million cases now reported worldwide and with authorities in Beijing reporting a new outbreak. The UK government has argued that the track and trace system will be crucial in controlling future outbreaks and have poured resources into building their own app for that, including extensive testing in the Isle of Man. However, Matt Lavish App's Hancock had some news yesterday. It doesn't work.
We found that our app works well on Android devices, but Apple's software prevents iPhones being used effectively for contact tracing unless you're using Apple's own technology.
So now the government has to start all over again.
We are working on it, is the answer. We're not going to put a date on it, I'm afraid, because I'm absolutely determined that whilst this technology can help, it's got to be working effectively. And asking people to isolate for 2 weeks is a big thing. And so I would not recommend an app unless I'm confident in it.
6.
In recent times, it seems as if the government is secretly running a stupid Olympics. We had Durham Dom and his eyesight testing drives. Then we had Matt Lavish Holidays Hancock, who couldn't even get Marcus Rashford's name right.
The Prime Minister talked to Daniel Rashford.
And now Dominic, there was no one left on the Tory backbenches, Rob, had this.
Do you know what? I understand this sense of frustration and restlessness which is driving the Black Lives Matter movement. I've got to say on this taking the knee thing, which I don't know, maybe it's got a broader history, but seems to be taken from the Game of Thrones.
Mate, it's not Black Watch Lives Matter. Anyway, once Sir Jormont died, they kind of disbanded. Your watch is over.
5.
In the US, a very sulky Donald Trump recorded his second loss this week in the Supreme Court, this time over his attempt to end DACA, the so-called Dreamer program that grants citizenship to the children of immigrants.
The Supreme Court has blocked the Trump administration's efforts and their plan to roll back DACA. That means that DACA will remain in place for now. The Supreme Court, I'm going over this opinion now, it decided that the rescission of DACA must be erased.
Donald has not taken it well, claiming the decision was a shotgun blast to the face of Conservatives and plaintively tweeting that the Supreme Court doesn't like me. This family of idiots queuing for his rally on Saturday seem to like him quite a lot, though.
Come on, everybody, yeah! Woo! There will be another USA. Freedom won't come back. Give it away. Time to vote. Time to pray. Don't ever want to hear you say, go Trump! 2020, go Trump!
4.
The UK had a tourist yesterday, remember them? French President Emmanuel Macron popped over, presumably not on the ferry, to award the Legion of Honour to the City of London to mark the 80th anniversary of Britain's help in the battle with Nazi Germany. He presented the award in French to Prince Charles, who gallantly responded in French. There was also a Red Arrows fly past and a chance to exchange gifts with Boris and discuss le Brexit.
Thanks of the French Republic to the City of London by giving it the exceptional title, by awarding it the Cross of the Legion of Honour. And thank you for generously bestowing such a high distinction to London.
3.
This weekend, the Premier League is back. Well, there are 10 whole games all on TV across Saturday and Sunday. Let's hope the crowd noise work experience guys had a bit of a rest. Spurs manager Jose Mourinho popped up and he has thoughts about Marcus Rashford and his campaign that got the government to reinstate the school food vouchers this week.
He did amazingly well. I congratulate him for that. It's a bit strange for me that one football player can make it happen, and if it happened, it's because the government realized that was the right thing to do. So they shouldn't wait for one player to come publicly to put some pressure for that to happen.
Jose, I think you got an email halfway through that. Now it's time for our occasional series in which we check in on the super wealthy to see what their practical advice on life is. Let's see. Alan Sugar from his Florida mansion was chatting to Jeremy Vine about Corona. Alan may understand business, but he's not great on how pandemics work. Also, people who say logically usually aren't that good at thinking logically.
This has been going on now for 6 weeks. And so I just logically say, well, hold on, 6 weeks out, we've come out of this so-called lockdown. Who's dead? I'm not. I'm still alive. My wife, thank God, is still alive. So is everybody else I know. No one else has caught anything. So I suppose it's a bit of a clue there that says that maybe we've reached a peak, and maybe it's time for us to follow the example of America.
I'm also not dead, but I'm guessing Shugsy has been watching Fox News if he thinks Florida's doing well. Finally, yesterday saw the death of Dame Vera Lynn, iconic singer and the Force's sweetheart in World War II. She died peacefully at 103, and there was a flood of tributes to her, including one from the Queen. Rest in peace, Vera.
This has been the Smart 7. We've got an Alexa skill now. All you've got to do is enable us and then just say, Alexa, play the Smart 7. We're back tomorrow at 7. Please like and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
Hello, I'm Justin.
And I'm Lucy.
And together we are the hosts of Plenty Questions.
It's a very straightforward general knowledge quiz.
We ask you 20 questions, one after the other, 5-second gap in between, and you shout the answers out.
And then you tweet us to let us know how you've got on.
See if you can get 20 out of 20. No one has so far, but that's because we haven't started doing it yet.
But we will. And there's also going to be some fiendish brain teasers, so join us for Plenty Questions.
This is Acast Recommends. Every week we pick one of our favorite shows, and this is one we think you're gonna love.
Sleep struggles, reassurance, and major fears. There is a reason why I named my show the AT Parenting Survival Podcast. My name is Natasha Daniels, and I'm an anxiety and OCD therapist, and I'm also the mom to 3 kids with anxiety and OCD. Trust me, the irony is not lost on me. Join me every Tuesday as I give parents a real